is time to do some percentage word problems. Make sure you have your calculator handy at all times. Let's check out this word problem. It says 75% of your classmates do their homework every night. You have 32 classmates. How many classmates do their homework every night? You want to figure out the total number of classmates who do their homework. We know that 75% of all the classmates do their homework, right? So I'd say 75%, so 75%, and you want that out of or of the total classmates, which is 32. So you're really just doing this problem, 75% of 32, which is the type of problem we've seen before. How do we do it? I prefer using decimals, so I'm going to go that route. You could use a proportion. 75% of 32 is the same as saying 0.75 times 32. And then when you do that out in your calculator, what are you going to get but 24? Nice. So how many students do their homework every single night out of your classmates? 24 students. Sweet. Not a bad problem. Now, into the second word problem. It says 90% of the 180 students in your grade are at the school fair. How many students are not at the school fair? Ooh, it's a tricky problem. A couple different ways to look at this. I choose to look at it based on the percentages. If 90% of the students are at the school fair, then the other percent that's left that are not there would be 10%. Because what I'm doing mentally is I'm saying 100% includes or accounts for everyone. We're going to take away minus the 90% that we know are at the school fair, and that will leave me with the percentage that are not there. So really this problem is just saying, what is 10% of the 180? Because 90% of the 180 are accounted for, we want the 10% that are not at the fair. So you're really just doing 10% of 180. How do we do that problem? I'll do that work over on this side and flip my body around here. So 10% of 180. What is that? Well, that's going to be 0.1 times 180, right? 10% of 180. You do that in the calculator and you get 18 classmates or students are not at the school fair. So that's a really cool problem. That's actually called the complement when you want to figure out the percentage of people or things that are not accounted for. There is another way we could have done this, and so I'm going to go over that now. But if you've finished off both these word problems and you say, oh, dude, I am so good with this stuff, then click off the video. But if you want another way to do it or you're just curious as to how else you could look at this last problem, check this out. So another way of doing this problem is, and I'll erase this to give us some more room. Actually, we got enough room. We could take 90% of the 180. We could figure out how many kids are at the fair. So I'm going to do that work up here. So 0.9 times 180. So 0.9 times 180 is going to be equal to 162. Well, if there's 162 students that are at the fair and there's a total of 180, then I'm going to subtract from that 180 the 162, and that'll give me how many aren't there. 180 minus 162, which is 18. And you'll notice that's the same answer that we got right there. So a slightly different way of solving that problem. I like the first way, but both ways work. Now go do some percent word problems.